What's up, you guys? It's your girl LT here, back with another video. What's up, you guys? It's your girl LT here, back with another video. So today, what's up, everybody? It's your girl LT here, child-free Black woman. Welcome to my channel. And today I have a very special guest for my child-free interview. I have Miss Jerra Mitchell. She is also an entrepreneur. She's a YouTuber, and she is a child-free. She has a child-free platform called Unfertilized Eggs. Excuse me. So I reached out to her, and she agreed to be on my channel discussing about her child-free lifestyle. And I'm so grateful that she decided to be on my channel today. So Jerra, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Okay, so well, first off, I first saw your platform. I first discovered you on Instagram. You were actually one of the channels to your page was actually recommended to me because I'm also following other child-free pages as well. So I was like, oh, when I first saw you, I was like, oh my God, finally another child-free sister. So yeah, let me go ahead and follow her. So well, first off, I want to ask you, how do you describe yourself as a child-free Black woman? How has your life been for you?
Yes, so in the beginning, I was afraid to speak up about my decision to be child-free. At least, speak up outside of family because of the backlash I would get from family. But, years later, I decided to just set aside those feelings of being, I guess, unaccepted by society and just speak up about my choice to be child-free. And by doing so, that's when all this confidence came, and then the idea of unfertilized eggs came about, and I just built this community from the ground up, and still growing, of course, but life has been great being child-free. I'm happy about the choices that I've made, and I don't regret anything.
Oh, that's awesome. So, I guess what was your earliest recollection of either wanting kids or not wanting kids? And has your childhood also impacted your decision about being child-free?
Yes, great question. So when I was about 15, okay, so sidebar, I've always been really mature for my age, and I'm the oldest or the eldest of three children, an older cousin, auntie, things like that. So with that said, when I was 15, I was, babysitting and watching after my brother and sister while my parents were at work. And I just knew right then and there that I didn't want to have children
Mhm.
because it just seemed like a lot of work. And I remember telling myself, like, man, when I become an adult and if I have children, I won't have a life to myself. Like, I can't do anything.
Mhm.
So that's when I made up the choice to be child free. And of course, what came with that, people were telling me that I changed my mind once I find that person, or they'd say things like, oh, you're going to be lonely and etc. But yeah, to answer your question, I knew at age 15 I wanted to be child free, and I never had children, of
And you
course.
said, and you said that you're the oldest out of all your siblings, right?
Yeah, it's just three of us. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I noticed that too, especially while I'm the youngest. I have one older sister, so I had her pretty much look after me growing up. But actually, I asked a question earlier this week about, for my subscribers that if they were the oldest out of their siblings and they had to pretty much play the parent role in their siblings' lives, did that kind of motivate them to also be child free? And I got a lot of responses from people saying, yeah, I was always had to take care of my the siblings because my parents were bad parents or some situation happened to them to where they had to pretty much fill in that parent role and take care of their siblings. So and especially so being from from a Black culture, what are your positive or negative experiences being child free around your family, friends, or your colleagues?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't really have many positive experiences being child free in Black culture because they teach us, that we're supposed to have children in order to, I guess, build a legacy or pass down our genes, and I guess to try to keep a man also.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was in a serious relationship at one point in time, and knowing that I didn't want any children, I kind of kept that from him because I felt like if I told him that he wouldn't want to be with me because that's what was ingrained, in my mind. I was kind of brainwashed on that thought. But I guess long story short, they were right. But eventually I just kind of did what was best for me. And I'm happy that, he kind of moved on and got his family, but, both of us are happy regardless. But yeah, so those are kind of the experiences. And then, they will say things like, who's going to take care of you? But there hasn't been really any positive experiences from being child free in the Black culture, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. Like I actually when I went to go get my haircut last weekend, one of the guys, I guess I was talking to my barber about my child-free YouTube channel, and he was some of his other relatives was also in the barber with him. And so when he was telling him about my channel, I was telling him that yeah, I have a child-free YouTube about, if people who want to come on who want to discuss the reasons why they don't want any kids. And the first thing that came out of his mouth was, so why are you guys so selfish? And I was like, really? Like, so yeah, there's some people out there who automatically assume that child-free people are selfish and that we don't have actual reasons to why we decide to live our lifestyle. So especially in our community, I kind of wish that people were not so judgmental when it came to that. So everybody has different experiences, especially in the childhood, just different things that happens to us during childhood. It's like, I don't want to bring a child into this world that's going to have to suffer through that. So did your parents ever drop hints about you wanting kids?
So my father, when he was living, he didn't. And it was interesting. He was the first person in my family to accept the fact that I wanted to be child free. He just kind of said, do what's best for you. I support you regardless. But my mom, that's another story. So when I was approaching 30, that's when all the pressure started to come from her. And she would say things like, I want to have some grandchildren. I need a grandbaby. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not my obligation to do that. So yeah, that's the feedback I got from my family. And then there were some cousins that wanted me to have children, and I just kind of ignored it. But yeah.
And it's funny because people don't realize that, God forbid, especially, I'll just say this because both of us, being Black women, that, we are the highest percentage when it comes to having complications during pregnancy and during the delivery. And I forgot this girl's name, but she was in her early 30s, and when she had her baby, she died of complications. And it's just funny that people always want to force pregnancy and motherhood onto us. And it's like, you don't know what kind of issues we may experience during our pregnancies and all that kind of stuff. And then once the baby's here, people want to automatically want to manipulate you into breeding and having kids. But as soon as the baby's here, nobody's around, nobody's there to be found when you need somebody to babysit, or when you need somebody, when God forbid something happens to you, you need somebody to take care of that child to help out. So I just think it's funny that people always want you to have the baby, but then when you need them, nobody's there. So I've seen that plenty of times. Um, have you ever thought about getting any procedures done if you currently do not have any, and just to make sure that you don't have any children?
Absolutely. Yes. I've been wanting to get my tubes tied for the longest, but the struggle with me is trying to find a doctor that's not going to say things I don't want to hear, like, you're going to change your mind one day, or just, I don't want to do this. Because what if you get married and your husband wants a baby? So just trying to navigate through all of that nonsense. But yes, I would love to get my tubes tied.
For sure. Society has roles that, and they have this like certain agendas when it comes to certain topics and issues. So, what are your thoughts about child-free women that's portrayed in society?
Mhm. Um, like you said before, the biggest misconception they have about us is that we're selfish. But honestly, I believe we're self-aware. We may have taken more time to think about why we don't want children than some mothers have taken time to think about why they do want children. And what other misconceptions? Oh, we're not nurturing. So for me, in my case, being a babysitter and the eldest of three children, I think I'm quite naturally nurturing, but it's just I don't need to have a child to prove that. So yeah, those are some of the thoughts I have about the child-free community and how we're portrayed.
Okay. Do you find that more men or women are more selective nowadays when it comes to deciding who will be the mother or father of their children?
I would hope so. They need to be if they haven't, been doing so already. But
Mhm.
yeah, if they are more selective, kudos to them, because that's a decision that needs to you need to like take a lot of a lot of time to think about that. Think long and hard about who you want to have children with instead of just having them just to be having them, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. So women normally have a certain window to produce a child. So have you thought about if you ever change your mind in the future, would adoption be a possibility for you?
Honestly, I believe so. Maybe like when I'm in my 50s or late 40s or something. But they have to be over the age of probably 5 or 6.
Hmm.
You don't want any babies, no newborns, no toddlers, nothing like that.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. Me personally, I don't know if I have the strength to really do that. It depends on the situation, my finances. Also, hopefully, I'll be married by that time. 'Cause I definitely don't want to. No offense to anybody who's a single parent. If you guys are like, if you're in that situation and you are handling it, good for you. But I prefer to be with somebody and to have that situation be where the child can be in a two-parent household. So that's just my personal opinion. Um, let's see. And I think you already answered this. What child-free stereotype do you not fit in? I know you mentioned earlier about being selfish and we know we're more self-aware, but do you know if there's any other child-free stereotype you may not fit into?
Yeah. So what comes to mind first for me is the legacy part. When people say you won't have a legacy because you don't have any children. So my legacy will be honestly unfertilized eggs. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And then I've written a couple of books. I've helped people write their books, and those things will live on beyond me. Like, when I pass away, people will know about the works that I've done through, writing books and just being the person that I am. That's my legacy, how I treat people. So you don't need to build a legacy. I mean, have a child to build a legacy. That's not how you do it.
For sure, absolutely. Obviously you live in a child-free lifestyle. I think you mentioned earlier. So what was the other factors that made you want to start the Unfertilized Eggs platform?
Yeah, I just felt as though we needed representation, not just as Black women, but women in general, because there are so many mom platforms and mompreneurs and other, like I said, mother platforms. And then also too, the media targets families as well, and a lot of marketing. So I just thought that it would be nice to have a platform for us as child-free women. And then also the name Unfertilized Eggs, it just came to me one day while I was driving. I'm like, wow, this is catchy and it's kind of hilarious too. So
Yeah. Yeah,
I
for
just
sure. I'm glad you mentioned, especially in the media, because I'm seeing a lot of, especially TV shows, where a lot of people are, when with the TV shows, when the series comes to an end, somebody's always ending up being pregnant, and it's just like I've never seen really like a child-free person or a child-free couple try to, have something towards their happy ending. Not just, oh, we're pregnant, like maybe we started a business or maybe we have something going on besides people just popping out kids left and right. So I really wish the media had more representation of people who are child free who don't want kids like that. So it definitely needs to be more out there.
that brings me to a point. Did you used to watch Queen Sugar when it came on the OWN network?
Oh yeah, yeah, I watched a little bit of it. Yeah.
Okay. What got me at the very end, disappointed me, and I hope I'm not doing a spoiler alert. Mind if I tell you the end?
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the character Nova, how she
Hmm.
was, IT, and she said in a couple of times in the episode she didn't want any children.
Hmm.
The very last season, she got back with her ex-boyfriend, and it showed that she was expecting a child. So it's like, man, that just goes back to the point of what you said. Why can't they just have the child-free character remain child-free and just leave it at that? There's nothing wrong with being child-free. You don't have to write in the script that she's going to be pregnant one day and have a baby because,
Hmm.
like,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I kind of wish there was definitely more Black representation when it comes to being child free too. I mean, I know there's a couple shows. I mean, off the top of my head, I know Sex and the City had a couple characters in that show that didn't end up having children at the end of their series. But I just kind of wish there was definitely more Black women or even women of color who decided to, kind of go the child free route at the end of their show. So So let's go ahead and talk about being child-free in the workplace. I know you uploaded a video, I think it was earlier this week, about child-free in the workplace. So have you ever gone through any kind of discrimination about, being child-free in any of your previous jobs?
Um, what I call it discrimination. Well, yeah, I have experienced, I guess, a little bit of, I guess I would call it hate.
Mhm.
There will be some little comments made about me being child free and not having things to do on the weekends. So I should work a little bit of overtime.
Mhm.
Yeah, not knowing that back then, this was when we were in the office. Now I work from home. But yeah, back then I was working on writing my book
Mhm.
and a lot of time on the weekends. So yeah, they would kind of say things like, "Oh yeah, we have some overtime coming up this weekend, and we want somebody to volunteer." And then all the eyes would turn toward me because I was the only one that didn't have any children. But I'm like, okay, I have a life too.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that was back when I was in the office. But now that I'm working virtually, thankfully, I don't experience any of that nonsense. And I decided to speak up during a conversation. It was a group conversation about, I told them about my platform on fertilized eggs, and I got a lot of positive feedback. So that was good. I like how the conversation is changing now,
Mhm.
um, as opposed to when I was in the office maybe 3 or 4 years ago to now.
Mhm.
So where I had even had some coworkers even buy some things off the website because they wanted to support me, and some of their friends that are, child free. And yeah, so people are becoming more accepting of the child-free life in the workplace, at least from my own experience.
You know why I think that is, especially because of the whole panorama that happened 3 years ago. I think that when kids had to pretty much stay at home and do virtual schooling, and parents had to take care of that, I think parents definitely now understand that, oh wow, now I gotta, you know, really be there for my kid and now see what they're going through when it comes to school. And I think they definitely have a new appreciation for teachers now. And because now it's like, okay, well, I gotta be home all day with this kid. So now I think people are definitely are more open to people without kids, because even I have a coworker now that I work with. Out the blue one day, she just asked me if I had kids, and I told her no. And she's like, "Good, because if I could turn back time, I would have never had any kids." So now, especially with everything going on in the world right now, the cost of living, everything, inflation, everything's going up. Now they actually see, oh wow, like how really truly expensive everything is now. I mean, I already knew kids were expensive like a long time ago, but now they, with everything going on, especially after C-19 happened, they're all saying like, oh wow, now I truly get it. So I think people are definitely beginning to open up a little bit more when it comes to us not having children. We're more self-aware about the type of lifestyle that we definitely want. So um, I think, did I ask you? I think you went a little bit into the details about child-free and dating. So I know you mentioned earlier that you were in a relationship. So can you kind of go over how child-free and dating has been for you? Have you thought about possibly dating some? Are you open to dating somebody with older kids, or what's your dating life right now?
Yeah, so I am dating right now. He doesn't have any children, but I feel like he's kind of on the fence from some of the conversations we had recently. So I don't know how this is going to play out.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I think for well, personally for me too, like I prefer child-free dating as well. It's kind of hard, I think, for women our age group that to find somebody, to find a guy that doesn't have children. It's like a needle in a haystack right now. I think a lot of people are like they're having a hard time finding, suitable partners. And I personally may be open to a guy with kids who has older kids, hopefully if they're growing and out the house, but I just prefer to live, to have a child free lifestyle. Hopefully, find that, especially someone who is definitely child free too. So we'll see what happens. um, so some people may think that if you don't have kids by a certain age, that something is wrong with you. So how do you respond to situations like that?
Yeah, so I'm really big on my one-liners. So yeah, I was saying I'm really big on one-liners and just leaving it at that. So
Mhm.
when they say things like, you know, there's something wrong with me,
Mhm.
so I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me because I choose to live a life that's best for me. And I know myself better than you may think you know me. So, being child free is best for me. But yeah, I just kind of leave it at that, and I don't get into any arguments or any debates about what I choose to do with my own uterus, basically. So
Okay, okay. And also, I'll just probably end with this question. So, what advice would you give to a young man or a woman who is on the fence about having children, but they may be getting pressure from society or from family?
yeah, take your time, get to know yourself, kind of observe how you are around children. If you kind of tense up or get annoyed by, some of the noises that they make, or just, I don't know, whatever you may get annoyed with, pay attention to that, because if you choose to have children, you're going to have to deal with that 24/7. So take your time. Don't listen to any outside factors. Dig deep within yourself, tap in, get to know yourself and what you can and can't deal with, and make the best decision for you. Don't listen to people saying what you need to do.
Absolutely. Well said. And like I said, I'm so thankful that I found your platform. I'm glad that there's more Black women, especially, that are coming out saying that they choose to be a child free. And I'm so glad I came across your platform, and also know Biz Person Bottles, who has a YouTube channel as well, and Instagram. So, but I'm glad that I came across your page as well. Like, I'm glad that there's more Black women that are coming out saying that they choose not to have children as well. So I'm just so glad that I reached out to you. And that was actually my last question. So we're going to go ahead and close. But before we do, is there anything that you would like to promote right now, and also where people can follow you on social media?
Yes. So before I do the promotion, I just want to kind of express the fact that unfertilized eggs is for those that are child free, of course, but I don't condone any bashing about moms and children. We love children, we just don't want to give birth to them. That's kind of my slogan. So with that said, Unfertilized Eggs, you can find us on Instagram at Unfertilized Eggs. Then I have the website, unfertilizedeggs.com. I do have apparel that I'm working on for the holiday season. I got this shirt on here. It says, I get travel fever, not baby fever. So that's one of my designs. So make sure you join the email list on unfertilizedeggs.com. And yeah, I'm working on growing the YouTube channel to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So almost halfway there. So subscribe, comment on some videos, and help the channel grow, help the brand grow.
Yes, I'm gonna put all her information, all her social medias, also in the description box as well. So make sure you guys support. I definitely want to grab that T-shirt because I'm gonna be traveling hopefully in the next few months. So I'm gonna be definitely gonna be needing for that shirt. So all right, so we're gonna go ahead and close. So Jerra, thank you guys, thank you so much for your time. And like I said, I'm definitely gonna be reaching out to you, and we can get that shirt, but I'm definitely gonna be supporting more on your channel as well. So look out for all of the updates and everything on her page. I'm going to put the details down in the description box. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, if you guys want to reach out to me, please make sure that you follow me on social media as well. I'm on Instagram, ChildFreeBW. And also, if you want to email me, I'm at childfreeblackwoman@yahoo.com. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to check you guys out in the next video. Bye, guys.
All right.